You know when something takes you by surprise, but it's a nice surprise? Found this little store, which is a bit of a gold mine. Let me explain.
Join the fight. Join the fight. With the elite, older gamer shining bright.
Hello everyone, it's your elite older gamer, the OG, and it's a pickups video today. Some things I'm just building into the collection, but also a bit of a weird one. Yeah, you know when you're driving along. So I'm driving along in an area due to work I don't know great, and it is what it is. An area in Birmingham. I think the island is actually called the Radleys. Near areas, if you're affiliated with this, and I'm sure most of you won't be, but if you know the West Midlands area very well, it's near Coventry Road, Sheldon, that kind of area. Anyway, there's a shop called Entertainment World. Now I was driving past and I saw the signage and I was like, that signage needs a bit of an update, dude. I mean that respectfully, but I was like, seeing in the window, and you know, like you get like a CEX, but they have loads of toys in there and all kinds of nostalgia stuff and memorabilia. Okay, I thought I'm gonna pop in this newsagent next door, as we call them here, and I need a drink, and I'm gonna pop in and have a look. So I went in this shop, and honestly, I'll show you the footage on the screen. I was like, what? Where has this came from? So it's like a CEX, obviously selling all secondhand stuff, but the mountain of games, it had retro consoles to play in there. I mean, I'll put on loads of overlays as I'm talking, okay? But there was what was it? There was a SNES with Royal Rumble. There was an N64 on. There was just free play, you know, you want to have a go. And then there was these massive gaming sections where I was like, well, I'm going to, all through random cabinets. And I was like, well, I'll just dig through this. And then I had to get back to work. So the next day I brought the Elite Younger Gamer, formerly known as No Camp Son. So we went there and I was like, let's have a look through this in more detail now I'm off work. And I had a look through and we did a load of pickups. And I was like, what is going on? The guy even says in there that he hasn't got room for stuff. It is a bit all over the place, but when you do some digging, I'll tell you what's in there. Toys, massive game section, and a huge comic section at the back of the store. Record section, like massive. You could dig in here for ages and probably find things that you'd like. So we just did that. I won't flash these on the screen, but we picked up the most random loose wrestling figures ever for the Elite Younger Gamer. I mean, a WCW Sting. I'm not making this up. It's just loose in the box to add to his collection, but you don't find WCW figures anywhere. AEW figures, which you don't see in this country much anymore. Really, and I was like, older, you know, your original Hasbro stuff. There'll be a video on your screen for that. But there was some in the cabinet, but there was also some loose. And I was like, do you know any of these? And obviously he knows who Sting is through AEW. In fact, we went, just real quick one, I'm going to add that in the editing. We went to AEW and Sting was there at Wembley. What a moment that was, by the way. So that's how he loves Sting. Anyway, we did a number of pickups for him, some comics as well. You know, I flashed him on the screen, just some, you know, cheap comics, nice collection stuff for kids and stuff. And I was like, I got the only thing really I collect at the moment is Funko's massive Funko Pop collection in there. Ones you don't find in the store. So yes, the tiered slightly more expensive, but they're probably rare if you're a collector of some stuff. And I can't talk much about them because I'm flashing imagery on your screen where you should see what would be involved for you. For me, I was adding to the Street Fighter 2 collection. So I had this anyway. Obviously, it's boxed in the background. Do you know what I mean? But the cartridge got damaged a long time ago. Long story how. So I got Street Fighter 2. I mean, come on. The nostalgia. Clicking that in. This thing would live in my SNES because it hardly ever got taken out of it. Anyway, Street Fighter 2. And then also there was a few little golden things in good condition. This was, you know, a few weeks back now, but I'm doing this video in retrospect. But Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Collection. Will it work on my Xbox? No. But it was in such good condition. And I was like, you know what? it's just for the collection. So let me put them back in their box. Edit this. Boom in the cabinet. That little Street Fighter section's growing slowly. A video coming on that soon. But anyway, yeah, it was just a little, don't judge a book by its cover, and have a look at these stores, and you might dig through and find something. I mean, it was in there a fair bit of time because there was so much to look through. The game selection in there is massive. Retro games, loads of loose games. So I just bought the cartridge because I already had the box in mint condition, but the cartridge broke a long time ago. So I just bought a replacement to put on display. Loads of SNES games, loads of PlayStation games before that. It's crazy. So I guess it was just to say we got some pickups. Check these stores out from time to time. It might not look from much from outside, but then you go in and you're like, what a little gold mine. Just wanted to share that story. Take care. Bye-bye.